Hey y'all, it's time to winter prune all of my trees in my front yard food forest. So that's what I'm doing today, and I'm going to show you the different cuts I'm making and why I'm making those cuts. Starting out, we've got this Pakistan mulberry that was cutting from the top of the tree over there, and I rooted it. The top of this thing is dead from frost damage, and I think it's dead down to about here. So I'm going to cut all of that dead material off and leave an outward facing bud down lower, and it should come back. And if it doesn't, I have more of them. We had pretty severe frost, so it may not have made it because it was a smaller tree. This bay laurel, I'm going to remove this suckering growth that's down low. And hopefully that survived. I don't know, it's also a small tree, so we'll see. These apples, they started out as whips this tall, and they grew out 3 branches each. And I saved one of those branches and tied it up straight. And so now this looks like the trees that I started with for all of these. And what I'm going to do is knee-high, just like I did my other ones last year. I'm going to make a cut. Just take the top off of that. I don't even really need this support anymore. Same thing, so that's Pink Lady. This is Red Fuji. They're both low chill apples that should do well here, and they happen to be apples that we really like. So, take that support out too. And that's my pruning, and from here these buds are gonna go out, and then I'll have an open center just like all my other trees. This red bud here, I started removing some of the inward growth and the crossing growth earlier. I did a little class. We do homeschool co-op, and I teach gardening and biology at parks that we go to. So I taught them a little bit about pruning today. But I'm just going to remove some of this scraggly growth that's going to the middle, so now it's nice and open, and I kind of like the shape of it, but I want to balance it out some. It just doesn't look even to me. So I'm going to take this off. Kind of like that. I'm going to take these tips back to an outward facing bud so that they grow out. This one's already there. I don't like this branch. I'll go ahead and put that one to outward facing. Alright, there we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, moving on. This is a sun gold nectarine, and this has a lot of flowering fruiting wood on it. All these little small spurs that are coming out. A lot of this stuff is fruiting wood, so I don't want to cut too much of that off. This is dead. This is dead, and I've got a scaffold here and here. I've got one going this way, but I don't really have one going that way, so I'm hoping this branch will go out that way, or maybe this piece of this branch will go out that way, so I definitely want to keep those two. This is kind of interfering and going up, crossing this other branch, so I'm just going to take that out. And this is kind of going to be in the way of these flowering buds right there. So clear cut of that. There we go. Now I'll just take it back to some outward growth. Knock it back a couple inches. Always do angled cuts so that the rainwater goes off at an angle. It doesn't pull on the cut. So this is looking pretty balanced. The tree is leaning that way a little bit. It's wanting more light, so I might have to stake it back or else pull it back and then jam some wood down in there to keep it back, and then it'll fill in with dirt. But I'm thinking that looks pretty good. This growth's a little high. I'm going to go ahead and check this because this side's being a little more aggressive than everything else. I'm going to check it back to here. There we go. That'll do for now. This plum, Blue Damson, it did not grow much this season. It's still alive. I'm going to just check it back like a node or two to outward facing growth, and hopefully that'll help stimulate it a little bit. Not sure why this one did so poorly compared to everything else, but it's the only one that just didn't take off at all last year. Here's our sun red nectarine. That was the sun gold. Looks like we've got some dead wood here, so I'll cut that back. These smaller branches didn't do well in the cold. Again, I've got a scaffold coming this way, one coming that way, and a good one going that way, but nothing coming this way. So maybe this branch will take off, or something will come out from lower and go that way, and then I can nurture that branch. But for now, I'll just take these tips back a little bit. That looks good. Okay. Alright, so for this pomegranate, I'm just going to clean up some of these cuts I made before and get them a little bit closer to the trunk here that I'm making. Because the pomegranate wants to be a shrub, but I'm turning this one into an arch. And so this branch is going to come over and come down here, and this branch is going to come over and come down over there. So it'll be like a double arch over these swales. Alright, mulberry. Here's the other Pakistan mulberry where that cutting came from. I want to bring it down a little bit and bring it to outward facing buds. Some of this topmost growth is frostburnt and dead, so it needs to come off anyway. I still want this to push out from here, so I'm not going to take off. I'm going to leave one last bud there at the top. I want it to kind of just push out from this part and make a canopy above everything else. So this one needs to come back. Okay, that looks good for that one. Now we've got this other red bud over here. Another plum. Plum has some inward growing branches, so I'll just take that out. Aside from that, this one's pretty balanced. I'll just remove some of the scragglier growths so that it can focus on building out the structure that I want here. And might take this lowest branch out because it now has a branch going there, and that's good. Now this red bud's got a lot of inward growing branches that I'm going to remove. So I might remove this whole piece right here. Let's see. I think so. That'll open up the middle real quick. Here's some crossing growth. Take this branch out entirely. And now I'll just take everything back to tips. Take off some of that lower scraggly growth. Tip it to here. Always want it to grow out from the center so that you can have good airflow and good light penetration. It prevents diseases and increases blooming and fruit, not for a red bud, but for other things. Go. And then this one's a little higher than everything else, so I'm going to check it a little bit. Likewise. Alright, that's good. Peaches, we've got Alberta and Florida King, both low chill. Some deadwood. There's not much interfering or crossing growth, and the structure looks pretty good on these, so I'm just going to tip these back like I've been doing with everything else. Maybe check this growth a little bit so that it grows out evenly and no part of the structure overtakes any other. Just want to keep it nice and balanced. Take that one a little lower, actually. Oh. Okay, I think that's good. We'll have some good growth on this year. Actually, I'm going to top this one a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm happy with it. These pears. What is going on? So this is a hood pear. This is a pineapple pear. We had 4 days of 20 degrees, which killed this tender young growth here. And then after a week, this tree started leafing out again. And so it's had enough chill hours. I'm still shaping it. You can see this one got a lot more flower spurs on it, fruiting wood. And this one has a few on here, but not nearly as much. So I'm trying to get these branches more horizontal so that they make more fruiting wood. And I'm not even going to prune this because it's growing right now. This one has a good structure already. I want to encourage this branch to come up in the middle so I can make a second tier on it, like on this one. And that'll be the branch that I'll do that with. This willow needs a little work. Got some dead wood from the freezes. And I'm going to cut back to outward facing buds, but I'm going to cut back to buds that are going to grow in the direction I want them to. So what does that mean? Well, for this willow, I'm using this part. I'm turning into an arch. So I'm shaping it up and this way, and I'm going to get it to over here. And then some of this part I'm going to take off. I'm going to try to make it into like a little wall across here to help protect all these fruit trees from the wind. And then I'm going to try to turn a part of it here in the middle into like an active seat. So that's the plan for it. It's very ambitious. We've got lots of work to do, obviously. but anything's possible. You can shape these trees in all kinds of ways. So I'm going to remove this dead wood and then see where that leaves me with this tree. And Avi is playing in the background, as you could see. Barbie's helping me film, and Avi wanted to play, so. Hey.
What's Daddy doing?
Alright, so now all of that dead growth is out of there, and I can work on the shape a little bit. So, oh, hold on a second. Alright, so I don't need this growth going towards the driveway so much, so I'm going to take these branches off that are doing that. That's going to open it up a lot and give me a lot of wood for cuttings. But like I said, I'm trying to make an arch here, so I want the willow to focus on this growth here and not any of these other branches.
So you can make cuttings from all of those?
Yep. I'll make all different size cuttings and stick them in the dirt, and I've had variable success with this, like not 100% by any means, maybe 25%.
She's playing with your rocks.
I see that. That's okay. I'll fix them later. All right, so now that I've got the dead wood off, I want to shape this branch this way. Oh, I'll be on it. Do this way. Okay. Alright, so I want a bud growing this way, and I want it low because, like I said, I want to turn this part into a seat. So I'm going to select this one here, and it'll grow out from there. Alright, I think that's all I'm going to film for now. Avi's getting a little adventurous here, so we're going to call it quits. And thank you so much for watching.